Welcome to the 7-8 podcast,
where falling down isn't failure
and getting back up is the secret to life. What's up, everybody? Michael Johnson here with the 7-8 podcast and your host, Lexi Ruffell. And today,
what did you say?
I said, and your host, Lexi.
Oh, your host.
Oh, wow. Not sure what you thought I said, but wasn't that. Welcome to the 7-8 podcast. And today's episode is super special because we get to interview one of the founders, one of the hosts. And it's not me because I'm not going to interview myself. We are going to interview.
That'd be interesting.
Miss Lexi today, so that you guys can learn about who she is and what she's all about and how she got here and why in the heck is she one of your hosts for the 7-8 podcast. Now, a quick little note: we are not all about us, and this show is really all about you guys. So what we decided to do was take a couple of episodes to tell you about us, and if you'd like,
you can skip.
You can head off to the
Please
next
skip.
episode. But if you are some that want to know about us and about our background, a little bit of our history, and just get to know us a little bit, then these episodes are for you. Lexi is interviewing me as well in a different episode, and I'm interviewing her in this episode, so that you guys can get to know us and just kind of learn a little bit about our antics.
You'll get to know us in all the other episodes too, but this is kind of the official.
The official or the official?
Well, depends on who you are.
And depends whether you like fishing. So when
Oh
well, like I said, they're here to get to know us.
I guess.
Again, feel free to skip to the others because we don't care one way or the other, but we do want to let you have an opportunity to get to know us a little bit and understand some of our background and how we got here. So I'm excited because I get to interview Lexi and put her on the spot and make her answer all sorts of crazy questions.
My least favorite thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't like that? I don't understand why. But
really
no,
like
I do.
To be prepared first.
But I like to show you off to everybody and show them how cool you are and how many cool things you do. And I'll let you give a shot at trying to tell them. But if not, I will tell them along the way too.
Okay, appreciate that.
So let's dig in without further ado. This is Miss Lexi Ruffell, and she's awesome.
It is said Ruffell.
Ruffell.
Lots of people think it's Ruffle.
It's definitely not Lexi Ruffell. It's
my little brother actually started just saying that his name was Ruffle.
He did
instead of saying Ruffell. Yeah, when he was like in first grade, he's like, "I'm Cody Ruffell."
If you put an extra E on the end of your name, it would make it look more like Ruffell.
Yeah, I guess, but that's not how it's spelled.
Maybe it was Ruffle, and you guys changed, in their history.
Yeah, in the history of the name.
Yeah, they changed it to be Ruffell so that, I don't know. Anyway, let's get to the juicy stuff. Let's start from the beginning. What year no, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
So I want to start with this.
Okay.
You come from a very interesting background, and people may or may not know you at this point, and if they don't, they may not know that you were a professional athlete, a professional ballroom dancer, and you grew up as a dancer. And so I'd like to hear a little bit about that backstory and how that all began, and how you ended up doing professional ballroom dance.
Okay, so just to the dancing days. That's where we're
we'll go back to the dancing days. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, my grandma owns a dance studio still to this day. She is incredible and is still running that studio. Nice. In Idaho. And my mom followed in her footsteps and also opened a dance studio. And so that is what I was going to do. At the age of 2, I started dancing. I was put into class right away and started dancing.
But that was all jazz and ballet and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I started in the world of, I mean, when you're a little kid, you always start doing tap and ballet. That's typically what you start with. So that's the world that I started in, and that's those are the types of studios that my grandma still has, and that my mom had. It was a jazz and ballet and tap and hip hop studio. Um, and then when I was in 1st grade, my mom did bring ballroom into the studio. Some of our really good family friends, grew up in the ballroom world and came, to the studio and introduced it. So, um, yeah, so I started doing ballroom. I was bribed to start in the world of ballroom. My mom needed, more people on the team, and I was very much into the world of doing jazz and company and that type of stuff, but, she bribed me to do it, and, I guess I fell in love with it because I, did dance professionally, so I guess I fell in love with it.
What was it about
Um,
ballroom that drew your attention away from that other world? I mean, obviously, it was
yeah,
generational, and so you would have thought that you'd have ended up running a jazz studio or something like that, but you
yeah, I
ended up
mean, I've been, uh
falling in love with ballroom. So how
yeah, I was my grandma tried to convince me many times to take over her studio, but that was not the direction that I wanted to go, but, um, I kept doing, uh, I was in both worlds until probably 6th or 7th grade, and I just had to make a choice, um, and I, I guess, I'm being truthful, I think it was because you were my coach. I mean, that's another story all in itself, but,
good to
I think that was a big piece of it. Just the belief that you had in me to, be something great in that industry. And in the ballroom world, I think that's ultimately what made me decide that I wanted to go that direction, and I just didn't have time to do both. So I started moving in that direction, and I guess dancing with a partner is fun and exciting, and I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, good times. You danced, professionally for a while,
Yeah,
and, how was, uh, dancing professionally compared to dancing as an amateur and in the lower
yeah.
ranks?
Um, it was good. I think I actually like dancing as an amateur a little bit better.
Really?
I like those days a little bit better. They I don't know, it wasn't I guess it wasn't my career yet, I wasn't having to make money from it yet.
Wasn't a have to yet.
It wasn't a have to, and so, all through high school and college, like, I love those days of competing at a really, really high level and, just, I guess, less worries in those
Sure,
days,
sure.
but I did decide that I wanted to make it a career, and so I danced professionally and, traveled a lot,
Yeah,
and, it was good. It was
sure.
good times, and I was teaching a lot, and I did enjoy it.
As a dancer, I mean, here we are on a podcast about resilience, and getting
Yeah,
back up. As a dancer, there's so much of that. What kind of things do you feel like you learned from, being a professional athlete and a
yeah.
dancer, combined, uh, about resilience and about getting back up, along your journey?
Yeah, I think that is, interesting question. I think you are constantly getting knocked down in the world of dance where there's just so much talent and there's so many good competitors, and there's lots of opinions from the judges and opinions from other people,
Right.
and, you're just surrounded by so many opinions, you're surrounded by the politics in
So much
the
critiques, right?
in
It's like
critiques and
instant after you dance, there's instantly a critique by something.
yeah, yeah, you're just, like, surrounded by that, and so you're constantly getting coaching um, and getting picked apart in the world of dance, and so you have to learn to believe in yourself no matter what, and no matter what the opinions are, and you have to have resilience to get back up. And one comp you're going to be at the top, and another comp you're not going to make a cut, and so it is something that you have to learn. You have to learn that resilience and learn to get back up every single time. And even when you win, you have to learn to get back up and keep going and keep pushing because it only lasts for so long, right?
Right.
That moment of being on top only lasts for a certain period of time, and then you're back in the studio and you're back uh, getting to work and working towards the next comp and working towards the next goal and maybe switching partners um, and there's a lot of resilience. There's a lot of resilience that is required, but, that's also the fun part, I think.
Sure.
That's definitely the fun part.
What a unique path to have gone through the dance journey and dancing
Yeah.
as a professional to ending up in business. Why and how did
Everybody always asks this, right? Like, how business?
how did you end up in the business space? I mean,
Yeah,
and I can say this because we do this as partners, but
yeah,
um, not dance partners, but business partners. And
yeah,
we invest in businesses. We do marketing. We do business. We do strategy. We do what we call choreography. How in the heck did you end up there
yeah.
from having gone the route of making a career at professional ballroom to doing all of this?
Yeah, well, I'll back it up just a little bit. We talked a little bit about my mom owning a studio, and so you can clearly see that she was an entrepreneur. My grandma is an entrepreneur, owning their own businesses. But also, my dad is uh, uh, he's owned more businesses than I can count, and is just that classic entrepreneur of doing lots of different things. And I don't that I guess I didn't know anything else, like, that's just what you do,
Right.
you're an entrepreneur,
Right.
you run your own things, and
Even
I
as a
just
dancer, you were running your own stuff.
yeah, even as a dancer, like, I was running my own thing. There was a time that I was working at a studio, and I was thinking about this morning. I still didn't really consider myself as an employee of that studio. I'm like, "No, like, I'm running my own life here." Like,
Well,
I
you
just
weren't. They were you were an independent contractor for them.
yeah, I guess that's true. So, I just didn't know another another life. Like, of course, I run my own business and I do my own thing. And, even through college, like, I'm going to get my degree and going that path, but I never saw that I was going to use my degree because I was going to dance, I was gonna run my own stuff, like, I was never going to use it, but, I did it. I
Sure.
did it and I got the degree, but,
Built
uh
to be an entrepreneur
yeah,
from
I guess I was
yeah,
built to be an entrepreneur, and
yeah.
then, uh, I don't know, I guess I can go a little bit
No, I think
deeper.
that's good.
Okay.
I think that's good. What do you think, from you've run a lot of businesses, and we'll
Yeah,
talk about that in a future episode. Um, you've done a lot in a lot of different business settings. You've done a lot in the dance world.
yeah,
Uh, what do you feel like in terms of resilience and getting back up was the big lesson from your dance days? Like, what was the and we kinda touched on it, but I just
yeah.
wondering if we can pull that back out again. Like, if you had to sort of, combine it all into one nice, tidy little package, what was it that you learned from those days of dance that you think is maybe the most valuable for people that didn't go through the dancing?
Ooh, I feel like that is such a heavy and deep question. Like, can I summarize the
Years of it.
the years and years of my dance days and the lessons learned into one thing? I hmm, it's
It's a
it's very hard. I guess, something that I learned, and I don't know if this is quite the direction that you're looking for, but let's see where it goes.
it's your
I think
answer.
it's my answer, I guess. I think the biggest thing that I learned through those days is that the first step is that you have to believe in yourself and you have to believe in what you are capable of, because without that you're never going to succeed, because there is always going to be outside opinions and there's going to be external things that happen and there's always going to be doubt, and but the biggest thing that you have to have is belief in what you are doing and what you can accomplish no matter
Right.
what is happening around you, because those things are going to happen no matter
Mhm.
what. um, but
Sure.
you have to have your own belief. So I think that's
I feel like that's pretty unique to dance. Like, I feel like a lot of
yeah,
dancers have to learn that, and I think you mentioned and touched on it earlier about the fact that, as a dancer, you're always being judged. You're always being
yeah,
critiqued. You always have your coaches. You get off the stage and you're immediately greeted by your coaches telling you what you need to do better and
yeah,
how it was. And obviously, when you had good coaches, it was not just how what you need to fix, but what you were good at. And I feel like dance does that uniquely. I feel like
yeah,
in my business days, there's everybody judging, and
yeah.
there's no real person there that's going to come off and go, okay, you did really good at this, and this sucked and that sucked and you need to go fix that. You kind of get done with maybe a launch or starting a business, and then you're just like there left to try to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The other thing that's coming to mind is as as an athlete, you learn to work very hard. And I think that's something that I was really known for, is being a very, very hard worker in the
Sure.
studio and someone that um just pushed harder than a lot of the other competitors. So, I think that's something that I learned is necessary, and I think, I tried to let go of that piece of me just a little bit, because it was always connected to being a stress case, or, like, you always gotta work hard to make something happen, and I think I tried to let go of that piece of me, just through the years of business, but I think it's something that is so ingrained in me that I like to work hard. I like to be that person that is doing that and showing that strength in business and the things that I'm doing. So that's another big thing that I learned.
I love that. From dancer to business entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur to another thing that they don't know about you is you have invested in businesses
Yeah,
and done that as well. What do you're really great at systems and processes.
yeah.
What do you attribute that to? Like through you've done a lot of things, a lot of different portions of your journey, but why do you feel like you are great at systems and processes and putting that choreography together for businesses?
Um, Interesting. That's why am I good at that? I think it's like, people are talented. Some people are good at sports, and some people are not naturally good at sports.
Right. Right.
I think, my little brother just was meant to be an athlete. Like,
Right.
that is just who he is. He
Like
can play
in
about
the
any
blood.
sport. Yeah, it's like in his blood, and he just has it. He just
Right.
has that thing.
Sure.
And, I can attribute it to, okay, my mom is very good at those types of things, and my dad is very good at those types of things, and so I think I learned some of those systems and processes, um, and just from different mentors, I've learned these things. But I think there is a piece of it that I am just meant to do that. I think I
Sure.
am just good at it. I think, I am just a very organized person.
Mhm.
I love systemizing things. I love helping people see the action steps. I am very good at understanding tech quickly
Right.
and helping people understand the steps that they need to get or they need to take to get from point A to point B. It's just, um, eh, I'm just good at it. I think, I was also just meant to be a coach and a teacher
Sure.
as well,
Right.
coming
It's kind
from
of bred
those.
into you as well.
Yeah, it's kind of bred into me to be that person
Sure.
and to help other people and to coach them and believe in them. And I've had years and years of coaching and coaching very young kids and coaching adults, and so I've also practiced it and
Right. Right.
gotten
That helps a
better
lot.
at it.
Yeah. Some of it
Yeah,
repetition and doing it over and over again.
yeah, for sure. So, guess
Besides,
all of those
yeah,
things.
I think that's fair. I mean, I found that it's oftentimes people working at it that makes them great. And I particularly, if you're not watching this on video, you can see it on YouTube. If you're just listening on the podcast, but you can see this episode and all of our episodes on YouTube. But
Yeah.
I particularly like your reaction when I asked that. It was a typical reaction of a master at their craft, um,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
I don't
you
think
kind
I'm
of
a
looked at it and you were
master.
like, why do I think I'm so great at it? I don't think I'm great at it at all. And I appreciate that you didn't say that because usually you would. And I've heard you say that, but
Yeah.
the truth is that you are, and it came from a lot of years of blood, sweat, and tears of doing it over and over again, doing it in 10,000 different ways in the choreography process of business and in dance.
And in dance, yeah.
And, most masters will all have that reaction. They all kinda go, "Oh, well, I'm still working at it."
Uh,
And that's a
you calling me that, I'm like, "Eh."
well, and that's
Gotcha.
why I'm here because I can brag about you a little bit, and that's why I'm
Thanks.
proud to be, your business partner,
Appreciate
and I think that's great. Uh, there's a lot, and I'll leave some to be discovered from other interviews that you do with other hosts and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of is a really good overview. Why is it that, and we'll end with this
Okay.
question,
Okay.
but why is it that you personally felt um, inspired to really build this 7-8 brand?
Um, because I and we have fallen down a lot on this journey of creating this empire that we are creating, and I know that there are so many other people that feel the same way and feel those moments of, um I mean, I guess I'll be a little dramatic here, but I don't know if it's far off. that like utter despair, that feeling of how in the world am I going to make it through this moment? How in the world am I going to get back up this time? How am I going to be able to uh, pay these bills this month? How am I going to be able to do this? And I just think that there is such a need in those moments for perspective because it will the feelings will pass, and sometimes you just need a little bit of perspective to remind you what you're doing, that it's all going to be okay, that it's still worth it, and I need it. You know, I needed I mean, just this past week, I had one of those moments, and I was like, "Man, I really need a 7/8 story. I really need
Mhm.
that right now," and it was a very weird moment of going,
Sure.
"Okay, yeah, like, I think this is going to help a lot of people," and on my screensaver, like, I have the logo, and I look at that, and it's that reminder of, "Okay, you know, why am I what is the how am I going to get back up?" Well, I just I'm going to, like, that is the secret. I tomorrow I'll get back up. I've fallen down, and how am I going to get through this? I'm going to get back up
Sure.
tomorrow, and that truly is the secret. So, that's a very long answer,
I love that.
but there you go.
I appreciate it, and thanks for letting me interview you, and
This went a lot longer. Man, I actually what the heck?
you surprised yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we said we were going to make these shorter, but
Well,
I
sometimes when it's going well, you just gotta go with it.
I
Guys,
guess.
do me a favor and make sure you like and subscribe. If you know somebody that needs to hear about 7/8, please share it with them. And of course, if there's some questions that I didn't ask that you'd like me to ask Lexi on a future show, and make sure we get some of the good, juicy details out, then please put them in the comments and let us know. And we'll either respond or we'll do an episode on it and ask her some of your cool questions. Sometimes I can't even begin to think of the things that you guys are interested to find out. Uh,
True.
and so put them in the comments, like, subscribe, share, and of course, go check out some of the other episodes. And until next time. Oh, I almost said my other outro. Whoa.
Oh,
I caught myself though. Until next time, keep getting back up. 8. We'll see you guys in
peace
the
out.
next episode. That's a wrap for this episode of 7/8, where rising isn't optional, it's who we are. If you're walking through the fire right now, or if you've already come out the other side, we want to hear your story. Head over to 7eight.life. That's SEVEN 8.life. And tell us what you've been through, how you got back up, and what you've learned along the way. Your voice could be the one someone else needs to hear right now. And while you're there, suit up. The 7/8 gear isn't just clothing, it's armor for the battle, a symbol of what you've been through and the fact that you're still here. Wear it, own it, rock it. And until next time, keep getting back up. 8.